Douglas and the Duck. Written and told by Kiefer Adams. Oliver pulled into Crosby Station with the biggest smile on his face. Douglas had just been shunting in the yards and was looking forward to a nice earned rest. "You won't believe who I saw at Tidmouth Holt, Douglas," Oliver beamed. "Duck? Percy? Thomas?" asked Douglas. "I saw Donald's duck for the first time," Oliver beamed. "That wee quacker's still not on this railway, is it?" asked Douglas. "Oh, it was so wonderful," said Oliver. "She came up to me and quacked happily. Driver gave her some of his sandwiches. Oh, it was so lovely." "Animals should not belong on the railway," said Douglas. "I don't know why you're so bitter about Dilly," said Oliver. "Donald adores her." "He won't be when I have a few things to say about it." Douglas stormed away, leaving Oliver very confused. "You need to understand, Donny, that we can't have animals on the railway," Douglas fumed when he found his twin. Donald had been showing off Dilly to James in the yard. "I can't see what the problem is," he said. "Dilly loves everyone." "Aye, but she doesn't belong on the railway line," said Douglas. "What would the Fat Controller say if she found her sitting in your cab or riding on your tender? He wouldn't approve of it." "As a matter of fact, Dougie," said Donald, "the Fat Controller is fine with me having Dilly, because he knows how important she is to me. It's pretty clear that you don't understand how much Dilly means to my life." Feeling rather hurt, Donald puffed away. James, who had been shown the duck, gave Douglas a dirty look. Douglas paid no attention. "Silly Donny," he muttered. A few days later, Donald had grown concerned. Dilly had not been seen for days, and he was growing worried. Douglas paid no interest. He was too busy focusing on his work to worry about a duck. He was taking some empty trucks to the ballast chute on the small railway. Douglas puffed through the countryside, still annoyed that in his mind Donald had chosen an animal over the well-being of work. All that was about to change when Douglas rounded a corner, passing a small country farm. As Douglas rounded the bend, he saw a duck, flapping madly on the line. "Great driver!" Douglas shouted. The driver and fireman carefully stopped the train, just inches from the duck. Douglas was curious. This duck looked very familiar. "Och, it's you again, isn't it?" he grumbled. "What's the matter, old boy?" asked the driver. "Look who we've stumbled upon," huffed Douglas. The driver and fireman walked to the front of their engine. "It's Donald's duck!" exclaimed the fireman. "What's she doing out here?" The driver then noticed that only one of Dilly's wings was flapping. "She looks to have a broken wing," he said. "We better take her up to Tidmouth and call a vet." "That wee thing's not getting in my cab," huffed Douglas. But the crew didn't listen. They carefully picked up Dilly and placed her into the cab. Douglas, feeling rather annoyed, continued on his journey. At first, Douglas did not enjoy having an animal in his cab. "I didn't see what Donny sees in her," he muttered. But then, Douglas felt something pitter-patter up to his tender. It soon became apparent that Dilly did not like the cold hard floor of his cab and had nestled within the coal. Dilly felt very comfortable. As they passed through the cove, Douglas finally understood why Donald adored this duck. It seemed that she loved to travel, and she was always at peace whenever the engines puffed along. They soon arrived at Tidmouth Holt, where a vet was waiting for them. He carefully took the duck off Douglas's driver and took her up to the vet's, where they hoped to mend her broken wing. A few days later, Donald backed into Tidmouth sheds with Dilly quacking and squawking in his cab. "Hey, the wee one's better," said Douglas. "I'm glad of that as well," said Donald. "I was getting so worried about her." Then, to both twins' surprise, Dilly flapped out of Donald's cab and rested on Douglas's footplate, quacking in front of him. "She seems to like ye," said Donald. "What changed your mind?" "Well, I can understand why you're like this, wee quacker," said Douglas. "I'm sorry I was rude about her before." "That's all right," said Donald. "Hey, I was just wondering, you wouldn't mind looking after her tomorrow? I'm kind of busy." "Only if you look after her the following day," Douglas teased. The two twins chuckled. Dilly not only loves Donald, but she now loves Douglas too. The twins are always happy whenever they see her. Sometimes they see her with Duck and Oliver, and at other times they don't mind having a moment with her. She may be called Donald's duck, but between you and me, I have a slight feeling that, secretly, the twins now call her Donald and Douglas's duck.